Hey guys, quick chat. On our way to the card show, after I got back from the National, I'm assuming what is the vid, and I was pretty sick for about a week, still congested, almost got that fully cleared up, but everything's been going on in the hobby, the doom and gloom, hobby content's dying, which based on what I've seen, there's been a lot of content going around about this, and I don't think it's dying because of that. I think what it is there's nowhere to go with content anymore is the problem. Yeah, how many times can we talk about the same old thing? We're always going to bring it up. We all know the deficiencies in the hobby. We all see what's going on. Collecting's harder because there's not a lot new to collect anymore. A lot of stuff to buy and flip. And I know people are like, oh, in the future, the kids, they're going to be collecting the kabooms and stuff. I don't believe that at all. At no point do I say I need a kaboom in my collection. I do know a couple younger kids, and they only want the kaboom to resell it. They don't want it to keep. They're not trying to keep it. So yes, collecting from that standpoint is definitely dying. The new kids don't know anything about the old players. We don't talk about players like we used to. We don't have TV shows related to the history of the game anymore. You know, I remember watching a VHS of the 500 Home Run Club and listening to all the stuff these guys did and creating that mental lore of this great Hall of Famer. And then we see some of the Hall of Famers today and you're like, you don't compare them to the same guys. So that also kills the future market of collecting for, a Hall of Famer for future value. I've always enjoyed cards. I've always collected specific things I like. I love design, imagery. I like photography. And I just feel like there's so much going on right now in the hobby, and it's changed so much that I don't even know if I really call it a hobby at the moment. It's more of a game than it is a hobby. And there's a hobby aspect to it, but it's going backwards in time, not current or forward. The biggest set collectors today are what? Pokemon and V-Friends, or Magic or something. They collect more than sports card people do, on a percent per capita, I bet. A lot of the guys, you see them at the shows going through old vintage binders trying to create sets that they've been doing for decades. You don't see some 20-year-old kid, 30-year-old guy at the table trying to figure out how to make his 1958 set complete. You don't see that. It's just that it's changed, and I think we just need to enjoy what we enjoy about the hobby, whether it's past, present, or future, and figure out a way to enjoy things. And again, it's always super easy to complain about stuff. Anybody can do that, and it's going to get the most views. And I have a lot of problems with what the hobby looks like now. I had a good conversation with Bryant yesterday, where I see the hobby going right now. It's not good, unfortunately. Topps Chrome basketball is going to come out. It's going to be outrageous. Topps Chrome football a year from now is going to be even more outrageous. And we're in a situation that we don't control anything in the hobby. And I know you're saying, oh, well, I just won't buy it. Well, unfortunately, somebody will. And they're going to buy it from a breaker, because you can't buy the product anymore on your own because you don't want to spend $500 to $1,000 on a box of cards with one autograph and a 90% chance or more of definitely not breaking even. It's a lottery ticket. You buy a dollar scratch off, you're going to win more than you'll ever, or you're going to lose more than you'll ever win. Odds change, but that doesn't happen in our market. And, what do you chase anymore? It's a billion rookies, a billion autographs, a billion rare cards. Yes, you have the extreme ability to all of a sudden open a hobby pack of something and pull $1 million card. One person in each product, or the product that dictates that card, has that opportunity. The rest do not. And we're at a point now that Fanatics/Topps controls a market. Completely controls the market. And I keep looking for these other companies to step up. We have no idea what Panini's going to do because Panini doesn't say anything. So I don't know what they're going to attempt to do. And then Upper Deck's trying, but I keep seeing them fall short on the ability to do something. And what I'd said something crazy, if you wanted to do something to break the hobby and break it in a way that would bring in the gamblers hardcore, they could attempt to do this. And I'm not even going to say it here because I don't know if it would be a good thing if it even happened. And it may happen in the future, but I'm not mentioning it right now. Maybe in the future I'll talk about it a little bit more. It would be a partnership between two companies creating something. And I don't know if that'll happen. Last I checked, everybody's about money. We keep thinking all these companies care about us. They don't care about us, guys. They stopped caring about us a while back. They did make it more entertaining and collectible at a point because of the competition. We don't have that. What we have right now in front of us is about greed, money, about what's the next trick we can pull on them. You know, what's the next thing that we can offer them to make them feel special when we don't care about them. And that's where it is. At what point do any of these companies make you feel like they care about you? Go. They don't. We care. They don't. But they're making the product. And yes, do we want somebody to care about what they make when they bring it out? 100%. I think like a company like Gas, which, listen, I don't know half the people that are getting these, singers and pop stars and stuff that are on the younger level or nobody really knows about them, not a lot at least. I'm not going to poo-poo on that. At least they're trying to bring something to the table different. At least they're putting something out there. At least they're doing something. Do I want more and different? Yes. They're not doing it. Do we want more out of Leaf? Yes. And Brian Gray says Wild Card's on the rise and can surpass Leaf with what they're doing. What I saw with Wild Card this last national, no. They went from being able to spend a free wheel to win a pack to you have to spend $1,000 to spin the wheel. You didn't get a free spin every day. It was every day for an hour. But this year they didn't even offer that. And then last year, if you spent $100, you got to spin the wheel. All right. This year you spent $1,000 to spin the wheel because there were good stuff on the wheel. It's literally just a serial numbered image of Lionel Messi with a werewolf behind him, not autographed. And then they put a number 1 on it, a 1 of 1, and then it's a rare, special, valuable card. Because they say so, because they put a price tag on it to make you buy into it, to create false value. That's the problem with the hobby right now. We know we're being tricked. We know we're being deceived. We know we're being given options to potentially get a great card. But we don't live in a market anymore that allows a card to slowly go up over time without a lot of massive up and downs in between. All right. There are players in the league right now that I don't know what they're going to look like in the future, and I don't see collectability behind them unless something changes in their career now moving forward. Again, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a perfect example. Wins an MVP, wins a title, card goes down. Why? And last I checked, they're probably the favorite to win next year. And he's probably the favorite to be the MVP or one of the MVPs next year. He's got to do it for like 5 straight years for anybody to really care? I don't see back in the day when you saw a young person and you saw the ability that they would have and you saw what they could be in the future, you prospected, you collected that card, even if it was just for an investment, but you were investing for a future over time. I don't see that mindset like it used to be anymore. It's like it's gone. And people are like holding product. Oh, the future is going to go up. And product does go up. I completely agree. But at some point, product becomes stale. And then you get stuck in it. And you see what you could have had for it versus what it is now. And you just, for some reason, think that it's going to go up again. And there's so many people holding modern-ish products that you don't even realize how much is actually out there. It's a false sense of rarity that happens. Dave and Adams and all, they probably buy all these pallets of stuff, and then they say, hey, take that pallet over there into that vault. We're not going to look at it for 10 or 15 years. We'll pull it out and then we'll put it on the site. Or we'll get a BBC fake wrapped for some G.I. Joe stuff, tell them it's extra special, and throw a premium on it. That's what I mean. It's like, I don't know who to believe anymore. It's like between them and the government, I don't know what's going on. I'm just ready for something to change or something to break. That way we know what's actually happening. Realistically. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on this stuff? You have guys like, I know the Sammy Thunder thing was brought up where he doesn't feel like the engagement there and stuff like that. But are you making engaging content? Are you being engaging? Are you thinking outside the box? We can only talk about things we love so much, especially when we all love the same thing, that it's not going to appeal to the new guys, the new kids. Again, we have that different mentality built into us because of what we've seen over time, because of, what a Hall of Famer meant to somebody and being a great, and then having to wait 20 years for a person's career to be over, and then another 5 to go into the Hall of Fame, or somewhere around there, and then comparing them to the previous greats that we never even got to see play. We only see all the clips, and then we equate that to just this massive amount of how great a player was and what they did. And then you try to compare it to the guys today, and you don't feel like it's the same guy. So you don't feel like there's value there. It's a two-way street, and we constantly don't step aside and take a really hard look. We overuse the term grail because, listen, a grail to me, you are burying me with that card. Nobody else is ever going to have it. Because most grails, you got to go dig out of somebody's hands. That's a grail. Stop using the term. It doesn't really exist in our hobby. Because at the end of the day, a lot of us have already stated, we don't want to die with this burden on our family. And if we do, it's very minimal and not 10,000 cards that are worth $3 million that we're all just sitting on because we love them, when we could be doing life experience things and we're wasting time with it. There's these aspects that cross people's brain barriers at certain points of life or time. And we're living a different age of people at different times that have all come together in a very unique space that we call YouTube, surrounded by a hobby that once was a lot more fun and entertaining from a collecting standpoint than it is now, because now it's just a regurgitated crap of vomit. That's right, you can clip that out, but that's what it is. And there are fantastic things in the hobby. There are fantastic cards. There are great ideas. There are things that we all do enjoy and love about this, but there is also a massive layer of crap that overlaps it that you have to be good enough to look through and see the beauty in. Like Mangini, I saw the story today with the Joe Namath, and he spoke to all this data on it. That's the stuff we used to hear. That makes me want a Joe Namath rookie card. I have a Joe Namath auto patch, which I'm more of game use and auto stuff, but that is a cool, unique card. It's a weird size. It has so much history behind it and the player, and it's a part of time. And we don't see that. The new people don't see that. They don't get that. They don't have that attachment, is I guess what I'm looking for. That word, that attachment to the player, to the card, to the team, to the understanding. We get manipulated by grades and centering and everything else. Some of the rookie cards I have, actually all of them, they're not graded. I don't care. If I had a 52 mantle, I don't know if I would even be able to keep it because of how much it's worth. I don't care that much that it's worth more money to me in my bank, and then I can do buying other things that have way more intrinsic value than that card. And I can have a nice reprint. Beautiful. I can get somebody to paint me a picture of it. I'd rather, have a beautiful sketch of that card by a fantastic artist that still gives me that idea of this is a beautiful thing. Now I understand owning the piece from the time period. I get that. But man, it is so hard with the price of some of these cards that I see there's got to be conflict in some of these vintage guys, that have had these cards for basically a lifetime or half a lifetime before the boom. And there's this massive intrinsic value. And some of them maybe have gotten out of higher grades and gone to lower grades, which is very smart. But you also how high does this get? And at the end of the day, you don't want to be holding the bag thinking you're going to sell at the top, because you rarely ever do. And we definitely know PSA does not allow some cards to get graded at high levels anymore unless they really need the spotlight. They really scrutinize cards now. They've changed their grading scales. They've manipulated the system. It's another monopoly currently in the hobby because there's no real competition, because for some reason the market cannot see past that it's the same for every company. All these grading reveals they've recently did should have opened more people's eyes. And yes, I understand you want it slabbed, protected, authenticated. I get that. I don't have a problem with that at all. But man, just watch out. It's a little bit of a trick right now, guys. It's just a little bit of a trick. That's the problem I see right now. But we're gonna go look at some cards. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna see what we can find at the show that might be unique or different. Again, everything's been at the whatchamacallit lately. We just came from the National a little over a week ago, so we don't want to assume that everything's going to be great at this show when it may not be. But all right, cop just came from pulling somebody over, so I wanted to watch my eyes here. I want to get over because I want to get off. But let me know what y'all think, guys. I don't really know, and I just kind of went on a little bit of a rant. I'll probably now have this as a separate video before this show because I don't want you to come into the Cards and Cases episodes with this type of power and involvement, intensity. But that's where I'm at. I mean, right now, if you're really going to collect things, collect, because everything you collect now, for the most part, that has any value behind it, also has value for the future more than likely. Just be smart with it. You know, if you have expendable money, you just like and enjoy it, go for it. There's a lot of people that do now. And that's kind of what's also manipulated the hobby too, because it's created such a massive gambling aspect. And what's nice about the hobby and gambling in this, yeah, you can get into a break that you end up with nothing, but you can also get into a lot of breaks that at the end of the day you still end up with something. And it's better than nothing. So I get that. I don't mind that mindset at all. But I just haven't seen too much product or prospect people come out that the value is worth the risk. And that's where I've been kind of with it. The value to get in is not worth the risk for the potential outcome. You always see these guys, it's like I didn't know, a $3 a wheel and won a $5,000 card. Okay. Well, I hope you clipped the video because I didn't see the video. Another cop flying around here. But it's just like, I don't know. I just want to be happy in the hobby and enjoy it. But I've always been the guy that likes to rip open stuff. I like the chase. I do. But I don't like this chase. This chase is not for me. And if it is, it's like, okay, I'm going to spend $250 on a hobby box that, you know, offers me 2 autographs and some hits. I'm fine with that. But when it's 1 autograph and 1 numbered card and then some fake shiny because we think it's special, it's not. It's not. It's always got to be the right player at the right time. Then you got to grade it to get the right price. You see what I mean? They created all these tier levels. And I just think it's being misused at this point or misappropriated. And I find we become very wasteful. I look at all the garbage. I know this is weird, but like you watch these people do all these, repacks and breaks and all the, leftover wrappers and paper on the ground. And like, do we need all the base cards? Like, can we get less sets with base sets and just make everything just hits? I know back in the day, I think it was like UD Premier was the one where you got a graded card in a pack. There was no trash, realistically. It was very minimal. I think we need to get back to that as well. I know people are trying to make the pretty box and make you feel special about spending $250 or more to open it, when all you really care about is what's inside the package. And you just throw everything else out because it's literally just gets in our way and it's garbage. I don't know. Again, doom and gloom. Oh no. But man, there's so much fantastic stuff in the hobby. There's so many different things to collect. There's so many things you can find interest in. And I'm just asking for more. And I'm asking for somebody to at least pretend like they care about the consumer. Because I feel like they just don't give a crap about us. And we're the ones in here arguing about all these other things when at the end of the day, we have zero control right now other than stalking with our money, and we're not the ones that are even the people spending the money. That's the messed up part. But all right, guys, leave some comments down below, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Appreciate it. Just hit 2,500 subscribers. So I think that's pretty cool. Again, I've never tried to pump my channel to be like, I need 1 billion subscribers. If I got it, I'd probably feel more pressure to do more stuff, to be honest with you. And I don't know if that would be a good thing. But, you know, it is what it is. And we're going to keep this thing rolling, go in here and look at some cards and see what's going on.